One of the Bochrim who were Shluchim in Miami from the first group, when they went into Yechidus while he was in Shlichus, he wrote to the Rebbe something that he was asking a tikkun for. So the Rebbe said to him, that's what he repeated, that Milui ha-shlichus b'milua, if you fulfill the Shlichus completely, is a tikkun if jeder Pgam was kenner sein. That's a tikkun for any blemish that's possible. Keil das was dort geschrieben, including what you wrote about. So it's interesting that fulfilling the Shlichus is a tikkun for a Pgam that a person might have. Another answer was a letter that the Rebbe wrote, dated Yomim HaSmuchim LaYud Beis, Liyemei Yud Beis Yud Gimel Tammuz, Tovshin Lamed Hei. This was a letter that the Rebbe sent to the Talmidim HaShluchim Yeshiva Gedola Miami Beach. This letter actually was a michtav kloli proti. As we know, the Seder was that sometimes the Rebbe would write a letter and send the same letter to many, many people, but he would add certain things which are important to that individual to send to. And he would add that I received your letter and concerning this and this question, this is what you should do. But the general letter was a michtav kloli. This was a michtav kloli proti that came behemshech to a previous michtav kloli that the Rebbe wrote, a real michtav kloli that was sent out to the public. So the Rebbe started this letter with the words that Afsha Abola Kamon, even though what I'm going to write further on in the letter, Kvar Bo b'michtav hakloli miyem shlishi shehuchbo beketev, already was written in the michtav kloli from the Tuesday huchbo beketev in Parshas v'Yisrael Eisachayil. But still, I'm sending you personally a letter like this. Harei eino deima ksiva bakosha abola kama v'kama b'yachat. It's not the same when you write a letter and you ask many people together to sending this bakosha and this letter to one person himself. Because when you send a letter to someone personally, it has more effect. That's what the Rebbe is saying. So therefore the Rebbe is writing in this Kloli Proti, which he sent to many individuals, saying, and even though I already wrote the Sinyan in the Michtav Kloli, but it's not the same. Now I'm turning to you as an individual, as one person, asking you specifically whatever the Rebbe is going to ask in the letter. So the Rebbe sent this letter to the group of Talmidim HaShluchim. But the question is, this letter is also written to a group, not to one person. So the Rebbe added with his Ksav Yad Kodesh these words. After the words where he said that it's not the same sending it to a lot of people together, to turning and asking a one person, Echad and Yochid, the Rebbe added, Ule Metzias Yechido Hanasis Al Yidei Ichud Kama Yechidim. That he said not only is it that it's better to send to an individual, the same applies if you're sending it to a metzias, a unit, which is made up by the union, the connection of many individuals. In other words, the Rebbe considered the group of shluchim as one. And therefore, what the Rebbe writes here in this letter, that this is more than the previous letter which was written to a public. This is written to an individual. He said, I'm writing to you also as a group which is considered like an individual. And I'll repeat it again. He wrote that it's not the same if you write it to a person direct, to Echad v'Yochid. So he added, Ulemetzias Yechido, Hanasis al de Ichud Kama Yechidim, which gives us an insight in the group of Shluchim that really by the Rebbe this was looked upon as one Metzias.